y'all. Welcome back after a short break here in Hartsville, South Carolina at the Guillotines and Guitar Studios. I'm Chris Hicks. To my left is Trey Davis. Right across from me is Scott Barfield. And in Canada is Carol Gainey. He will be returning here soon to the show, physically in person soon.
Right at the 1st of November.
Yeah, he'll be back. Carol, you with us? Oh, God.
Did you hang up on him again?
No,
I'm good. I'm good.
Thank
I'm
God.
good.
All right, so, yeah.
I'm good.
He'll be with us at after November, on our first show back in November, so we'll be glad to see him in physical form.
That's
we forget
right.
what he looks like.
Carol, how's Canada up there?
Cold and brisk.
Is it cold?
Cold and brisk.
What's
It
the
is
temperature
cold.
right now?
We just had Thanksgiving yesterday.
What?
Yeah, it's a
Thanksgiving was yesterday.
It's a different country, brother.
Yes, the Pilgrims.
So the
They came
Pilgrims went up
to
there after
Canada
they
on a
left here
different day.
and broke bread with y'all?
Either after or before. That would be a good Google.
Man, they breaking bread with everybody.
I tell you, hey,
When did they go down to Mexico?
They were on the march.
That was in March.
maybe we should go in our November show. You know, when we should probably do the differences between American Thanksgiving and Canadian Thanksgiving.
I remember us Pine Ridges breaking bread with them at Sugarloaf Mountain. That was our thing. All right. We're moving on to guillotines. We're talking about vampires. Yes, vampires. Talking about origination.
Yeah, just stop.
Yeah. Something like that.
Abomination.
Yeah.
They originated. Abomination originated.
I know what's going to help you out.
What?
Starting the segment off with a twisted shot.
Yep.
How about this?
Before we do every subject.
So this episode, we're going to do the buttery nipple, straight up buttery nipple.
We love those.
This is good stuff.
We always do
And
those.
I'm going to do the buttery swirl.
If Twisted don't sponsor us, something's wrong with them. They're so good.
They're going to wait until we get at least 14 viewers.
Yes.
Yes.
It's a marketing issue. So, I got the butter. Everybody got the same.
Yeah. Literally just pulled it out of the box.
Yeah.
Did you give another shot to Chris for his little friend he's got with him?
Who's this little friend?
Why we got to bring that up?
No, Carol, no, let's don't.
Yeah.
Listen,
Okay.
How about look at my little friend? Look at my little friend
No.
and then look at your shot and imagine what's coming out of it.
No. Goddamn.
All right, so this is getting cut.
It's Twisted for sure.
So right after you try to get a sponsorship from Twisted, you're going to say some shit like that I got to cut out. So, all right, let's pretend that didn't happen.
Yeah, that's right.
Skip on. All right, here we go.
All right. Here's the guillotines. Cheers.
That son of a gun had some booze in it, buddy.
Yes, it did, John. John Bird's always got the words of wisdom.
John Bird will always have the wisdom.
Yes, sir.
On
On
this
this
show,
show, he
too.
would never. He will never be
As
not
long
on
as
this
this
show.
show's on, John Bird will be a part of it.
Yes, sir.
I've got I'm going to go back and watch the show that he was on because there were a bunch of things that John Bird was just kind of known for saying some weird shit
and getting
sometimes.
excited,
Very excited.
getting wound up, and just said some off the wall crap.
So I'm going to go back and like just kind of.
Yeah, you knew Dracula. Yeah, I told him to get the high stepping.
John was always like that.
Yeah.
So I'm sure that you can find some
Yeah, I
things
gotta
on
get-
that episode.
Yeah, I'm going to go back. That was earlier on. So
Oh
I'm
my
gonna-
God, that was almost a 2-hour episode. Too.
That's what I'm saying. Well, all of them were back then.
Yeah, we was crazy.
It was rambling on you.
Well, back then we were doing both shows in one.
Yeah, that's right. And then chugging beers in between. We was very unprofessional. God almighty.
Getting
Air
up-
conditioner running.
Getting up and going to the bathroom in the middle of the show.
Yeah.
We used to do
We
stuff
used to
like
do
that. We used to do stuff. We were so amateurs.
Well, the whole idea of having a bartender also was like as a joke was so that you didn't have to get up in the middle of a show and go fix your drink.
Trey with his dad. How you doing, feller? What would you like to drink?
What was it I said? I don't even remember.
Let me knock the dust off the back of your gobbler.
Oh,
No, it was
Something like that. I don't know.
no, it was.
That was
Hold on.
not right.
Can I say it? Shit.
Go ahead.
What can I get for you, stranger?
Yeah. But knocking the dust off the back of the gobbler was better. Let me knock the trail dust off the back of your gobbler.
Yeah.
No, I don't think that was this show. I think that was something that was happening with you.
But
with
man,
somebody
we
else.
were
I don't
so
know.
unprofessional. God Almighty.
Well, we were learning. We were.
What?
You build. You know. You start.
You
It's just.
grow.
When have we been professional?
Now,
Is what I want to know.
right now,
This is professional.
right now.
Yeah. No. Did you see it? Did you see the latest comment on our last video on YouTube?
No,
I need to. Well, let me pull it up real quick for you.
if it's negative, don't tell me. I'll pull up the IP
No,
address.
it's not.
He'll pull it down.
It's not.
You gonna pull it up? I'll pull it down.
It's not negative at all. I don't. Our last comment on this was on the Beetlejuice video on YouTube. Says for those who don't know Chris Hicks, you got called out first and last name. For those that don't know Chris Hicks, he's all nervous now.
I'm very, like my armpits are sweating.
For those that don't know Chris Hicks, he is not the dingbat that he pretends to be on this show. He's actually a decent, smart guy, so don't take this serious.
Was that my wife?
No,
Was that Chris? Posted?
Tracy
Who
King. This was a.
Who did you pay to say that?
No, this is probably another YouTube account that he signed up for.
But that's what I'm
yeah.
saying. I think it's Chris. He signed up for a different name and he was like posted.
Yeah, you did a good job of acting like you didn't know that.
Yeah, I don't know that.
No, but I saw that come up and I was like, all right, that's funny. That's pretty cool. That's nice. You know, Chris is not a dingbat at all.
No.
He's a very fart smeller. He really is.
I just be taking you long walks off of short bridges, and you just follow me like dummies. See what I did there?
Yeah.
See what I did there?
I saw what you did. I don't know if it was any good or not, but
We need to get this show on the road. We're talking about vampires for our guillotine subject tonight. The
Was that with the
origin of
was it-
vampires.
Was that with an N or an M?
vampires.
I think you said. Okay, it sounds like you said
Vampires.
vampires.
That's a shoe.
Like they wear Vans. I know. I got Vans on right now. That's what I thought. I was like, is he talking about Vans?
You stupid. I got Vans on too. Hold on. I got Vans on too.
Don't do it.
Put those down. Put those down.
You need to trim those things. Jeez.
Did you hear my knee pop? God,
You're 40 now.
I'm about to hurt myself.
Yeah.
All right, vampires. So, man, I looked up some creepy stuff today. Do you know back in the old country of England? I'm going back to
The
England.
old country?
Or defeat the English on their own ground.
Is that your English accent?
But
That's
they used
Not
to,
great.
I think that was supposed to be Scottish that he was just trying to do.
That sounds like Scotland.
vampires is in Scotland too.
Well,
But
were they?
yeah, but
Well,
are you in England or are you in Scotland?
I'm in England.
A Scottish in England?
Yeah. I'm Scott England. So they used to bury, like, if they thought you was a vampire, they'd build this grate over your grave because they always thought you would arise, during a full moon or wherever the case may be. Y'all know, y'all grabbing what I'm saying?
We smell what you're stepping in.
what
Just
do you
keep
mean-
going.
Yeah.
What do you mean by a full moon?
That's werewolves, Carol.
Well, reading some of these stories, like some of the folklores, it was like the dead would arise during a full moon, and they believed in vampires. So they was like, hey, we'll build a grate over their grave. I mean, this thing was thick, big, nasty grate, where the so-called vampire couldn't get out, and walk amongst us.
A big grate. So they would rub cheese across it, and it would have little pieces that would come down.
I played that game before. Mousetrap.
Okay, but we're talking about where the vampire originated from. Where?
From the grave?
Yeah, no,
Great.
but where
Grated cheese.
was the first ever discussion of a vampire?
Well, I thought-
Where did that come from?
Well,
Western Europe.
I thought that it was Bram Stoker that created the character. But then
he created the character of Dracula.
right. And
Which
that's,
was a vampire.
That's where I got confused because I was thinking Dracula and vampire to me is like, they're synonymous. They're together.
Yeah.
So when I
Dracula
thought
was a vampire, by the way. But
I know, but
Was
I
Dracula real?
But I thought Dracula was the original until I got a little bit older, and then the whole Vlad the Impaler thing came up, and and there was that thing going on in Romania with Vlad the Impaler that
hey, this is good. Go ahead.
I thought that Dracula was supposed to be based off of him, and then I thought it was a vampire, so that was a whole. But then Vlad was a real person who was just crazy and killed lots of people.
But
But I read some of that. That's
He
why I was
did.
so.
But do you know what Vlad the Impaler's name was? It
was Vlad Dracula.
It was Dracula.
Or Vlad Dracula or something.
Yeah,
I mean,
that was where Bram Stoker got Dracula was from Vlad the Impaler.
yeah. Wouldn't he cut their heads off and stick their heads on a stake?
No.
Was that not him?
No, Vlad the Impaler. He took. He was a 14th or 15th century ruler in 15th century, might have been 15th century, but what is now called Romania is where he was from. And he would take his enemies and take a stake and impale them in the rectum. Up.
I'm good. Go ahead.
Hold on.
You tell us why the rectum.
This isn't funny. I mean, what he did.
No, it's not funny at all because you think rectum damn near killed him.
I didn't expect that. I wasn't ready. I've never heard this.
Yeah.
And I wasn't ready.
Yeah, that's how we got the name Vlad the Impaler.
That's
Because
also how we got the name rectum damn near killed him.
That's how he is. He impaled people.
I didn't know Danny was alive back then.
Oh no, he didn't use lotion from what I heard.
Yeah, no lotion, no lotion. It was meant.
You had destroyed me with that.
It was meant to be painful. This was no lotion to be soothing. It was meant to be painful. But yeah, he was taking a big,
This is
long.
years before Vaseline.
This is true stuff, though.
This is true stuff.
It's serious
go
too.
ahead.
Take it serious.
Go ahead.
Stop
Yeah.
laughing.
I'm trying.
He would take an actual long wooden rod that was carved to a point,
That's exactly what they said in the Diddy testimony.
and he would run it up the rectum of his people, and then put it up, and over time. No, get this. Here's the worst part.
I mean, they can't get no worse.
No, it can get worse because I've read a lot about Vlad the Impaler, and I've always thought, I was like, that would be the worst. It gets worse. I was like, that would be the worst way to die because you live for like 3 or 4 days before you die.
Yes, Vladdy.
Yeah.
But so when he impales them, he puts them up and sticks them in the ground. So they're dangling with this rod shoved up their rectum up into. Chris, this really isn't funny. It's not funny. I mean,
This is why we don't do the second segment live.
but I'm saying that's the way he did people.
Yes, Vladdy.
Of course he did.
And he did a lot of people like that.
He did it.
I keep saying he did it like he did he. It all comes back to Diddy. Maybe that's where Diddy got it from. I don't know, but
I'm dying over here. Scott, look, you got. I know that I know you were serious, and I know the story's true. It's just the way you told it, my man.
what?
I couldn't. Oh my God.
So I mean, would you rather me said he shoved wood up somebody's ass? I mean, that would have been even worse. I think.
Well, I think it would have been less funny, but you described it to the T, my man.
Well, I was trying to keep everything,
well,
PG.
PG.
Oh yeah, that's really PG.
I said rectum instead of ass.
Vlad the Impaler. I mean,
Well, that was his name. He's known for that now.
But are you sure, but seriously though, are you sure that he wasn't one of the ones that would cut the heads off of the enemies and stick the heads on a post?
He did that also. He did all of this.
that was the other thing was his specialty.
Because I thought that was all he did. I'd never heard of the rectum damn near kill him thing. I didn't know that was one
Oh
of them.
God, I got to breathe.
I didn't either. Too.
I
I
got
started
some deep
going into Vlad, and
Diving
reading
deep.
everything about it. I was like, it's stuff that I was like, I couldn't believe. I was like, are you serious? This is what he did, and so I was like, maybe this article I'm reading is just a fable. So somebody's just telling lies.
Right.
I was like, let me go back and look up Vlad the Impaler and see. Maybe that was so
Perfect.
I went
Vlad the Impaler. You can call me anything you want. Gonna call me.
so I went back and I researched him from different authors and
Angles.
yeah, he actually did this. And it seems like we made it funny now, but it's not funny because
I'm so trying not to make it funny, but it's the way
there was actually a war where he was in war with
the Impalers.
No, he was the Impaler, but he actually took 20,000 enemies, yeah, that he impaled and put in a forest. So when the country came and found their men, it was like they were spooked because it was just like a forest of people impaled. But that shouldn't be funny. I mean, and the army who come and saw him actually retreated because they was like,
Yeah,
we can't.
I don't want my stuff to be impaled.
No,
we can't deal with this,
Exit only. I'm gone.
no, they
That's
come.
what a lot of them did. They're like, we can't fight this because there's something wrong with this guy.
Yeah, because he's thinking. Go ahead.
But
No,
no,
I
mean, that's
think
what he
the
did.
worst part was that when they started walking up through the woods, right? The story that I heard was they come walking up through the woods. They started hearing these sounds coming through the trees. It was kind of like this weird sound like this. And then
Well, hello.
they saw.
I'm glad you all came.
They saw all these people. They saw all these people.
It was probably close to that.
Got a
but
bunch of wood for
It
you.
was probably a bunch of them going,
Wrong hole. Oh my God! This show's never getting there.
I know. We are awful.
I didn't tell the story.
Well, I was trying to tell a historical story about what's going on with Vlad and Baylor.
I mean, shit.
Listen,
Hey,
I'm paying
language.
Scott,
Language twice.
I'm paying attention. I'm listening to everything that's going on. This is hilarious. And I think that's going to be a good thing because there's not any funny stories about Vlad the Impaler.
They're written.
No, there's nobody going, oh, Vladdy. Like,
FBI is gonna be on Vlad's charts when we get them with this, when we're done with this.
No, so I actually think this is pretty good. So let's just keep
I have tears in my eye. I don't never have tears in my eyes.
I had to mute my microphone because I was over here laughing so hard I was wheezing. Like,
But Scott continued more like a champ. He's like, well, just wait a minute. If you listen to me, this is what next. This is what happened.
I was trying to finish the story so the listeners could understand what happened.
keep going because don't stop because
Did
of
anything else happen? Like after the woods?
After the woods. No, he said like they turned around and they were like, oh no, this is weird.
He actually
they were like, holy shit, is this a Diddy party? I gotta go.
But they had that tree sap back in the day. Look at that sap ass.
No, I think they used animal fat back then.
No, stop.
Bacon? Imagine that smell.
No, but I mean, you think about that. The army that Vlad was fighting, when they came and saw 20,000 of their, fellow men,
Fellow bulls.
impaled on these wooden stakes.
Oh, God.
And it was too much for them. They were like, we can't deal with this. We're not doing this. And they retreated. So, Vlad won that round, that battle.
I got a. Is this even a vampire? I mean,
What? Vlad was actually called Dracula. Okay. And that was where the name came from, was from Vlad.
Okay.
So that's why I'm going with the vampires.
Right.
And Vlad actually, and this is a story that's been going on for a long time, and I don't know if it's true. And there's a lot of historians says they can't really verify it, but it's been going on for decades. That Vlad, after he would impale the people, he would sit down in between all of them while they were impaled and have a dinner and drink their blood because he thought that the blood strengthened him. And I don't know if it was just that
was a scary dude.
I don't know if it was just him trying to.
Where did he get the blood?
He'd get the blood from the people he impaled.
Out of their butt?
From what parts?
Yeah, I don't know.
I got questions.
I don't know if he would hang a cup down by their butt, or if he would cut them some other place where they were impaled and take it. But he would drink the blood from them, and like I said, that's kind of like it hadn't been verified, but we're talking about the 15th century, so I don't think they really kept records back then, so you don't really know.
Not quite the same, yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
so I don't know.
Myths and legends get exaggerated as time goes by to add some details, make it more interesting than it actually was.
If he didn't do that, I could see him saying that where it would get people in all other parts of the country scared of him. Like, well, I ain't gonna go mess with his.
I think that was a big thing too, though, because you wanted to intimidate as much as possible.
But that's
why you had lots of, and it wasn't just him, but you had lots of stories that you hear of people that would cut the heads off of their adversaries and put them on a stake right outside of their kingdoms, right outside their forts.
Because that was done to intimidate.
Right, that wasn't done to scare somebody of a dead person's head. That wasn't done to intimidate, like you said.
It was done to intimidate your opponents. Yeah.
Right. Yeah, so regardless if he did it some way that we would make jokes about it now, sticking up the rectum up and having a person, hanging there by a
But
stick.
Okay, I know. I know everybody joked about it, but let's go back and I actually read
Let's not
about.
Go back.
No, but I read about what that would do to somebody when you stick an object up the rectum. I mean,
I'll tell you who to call after this show.
But you pierce. You pierce all the organs, and then when you set them up straight and put them in the ground where they're hanging up there with this object up in them, and what it does is the body weight over time pushes down.
Yeah.
to where the object is
keep
up
going.
inside of you. It keeps going, and it damages all. It damages all your internal organs. You can live for up to 3 days.
Yeah,
is what I read, and I mean, could you? That's got to be excruciating pain.
Well, that's like, but a lot of medieval tortures were like that.
I know.
Medieval tortures weren't meant to kill you instantly. They were meant to make you suffer for as long as possible. It's just like a crucifix. Yeah, it's not talking about religion. Crucifixes were a real thing. And they weren't meant. You weren't killed. You were beaten to death while you were hanging up on a cross. But you were there,
and then
you suffered. You suffered for a long time, or you died from internal bleeding or whatever else happened to you. But that was a real thing. You had like the Iron Maiden. You had the thing we talked about one time with the Iron Pig thing that you were inside of. They put a fire underneath it. You had witches that were burned. Things weren't meant to kill you instantly back then. You know, today we want to be like, if they have an execution, they want to make it quick,
you want to make
painless,
humane.
Yeah.
You know?
But back then it was like, well, they had I can't remember.
They wanted to take their enemies and
there was one thing
what
we talked about it before, and I can't remember what it was, but there was something that they it might have been the iron ox or whatever it was that they put you inside of. No, it was something else. It was like it was almost like a well that they put you in. It was covered so nobody could see you, but everybody in the town could hear you screaming inside of it because it was so painful. And that was your punishment. Your punishment wasn't just death, because that should be something quick. They cut your head off or whatever.
Yeah.
This was something for you to suffer for as long as possible, and people to walk by and listen to you.
Hear it,
And so this is the same time that Vlad the Impaler and these other stories started to evolve of Dracula and vampires and werewolves come around the same time. Like all these witches coming around the same time. Like all this stuff, because people didn't know if something wasn't right. They just assumed you were abnormal. You were the devil. You were sent by the devil to come and do this kind of thing. So yeah, that was a weird time.
Yeah.
So what was your? Let's switch gears a little bit, if you don't mind. Let's talk about what is your. I don't want to say favorite, but yeah, no, I'll say favorite. What's your favorite vampire in a movie? Let's start with Chris. I threw you on the spot.
Bram Stoker's Dracula, the original stalker. They call him
Bela Lugosi.
It was
Lugosi.
No, it wasn't that.
It was Dracula.
But it was a black and white movie.
Yeah, Bela Lugosi.
Yeah. Well, yeah.
So the first.
But it was kind of damn freaky because he had the long fingers, and the kind of distorted face, and man, that thing was scary.
That's when it was good to me, because today every vampire movie is like this good-looking, long-haired guy,
that Lost Boys type deal,
What's the one with Tom Cruise and
Interview with the Vampire.
Yeah. Like, and Twilight, like you have those Interview with a Vampire, Vampire Diaries.
One I think Chris's favorite movie.
Vampire Diaries, like you have those kind of things. Like I was like you, like I like the Bela, what's his name? Bela Lugosi.
Actually raising out the coffin and looking crazy,
slick hair back,
Yeah.
Yeah, I like that kind of stuff, but
looking crazy, And then you had Eddie Murphy's Vampire Brooklyn. You ever seen that?
Yeah,
man, that's kind of a comedy almost.
Do you know where they got the idea? Like people got the idea for vampires being like sleeping in a coffin.
No,
it was back in like
18th century somewhere.
Yeah, way back. Morticians talked about the people they
talked to
that they were burying or whatever. When they put them in a coffin, some bodies would sit up or move around in the coffin,
like the Undertaker.
Yeah, like the mortician or. No, they would sit up. The bodies.
He was talking about like the wrestler Undertaker, like sit up.
Oh, yeah, like that.
Or Ray Stevens.
But and this
don't
would be,
look, I fall.
But I mean, this was before the morticians
Embalmed and all
knew
that
about
stuff.
bodies how they work. Because
he got the rig and had to lean up for a minute.
Obviously, bodies move when they're dead, and do all kinds of stuff. But
can you imagine, dude?
Before they knew that was where the whole concept of vampires being sleeping in a coffin.
I've heard
you had morticians across the country who said, I got bodies who sit up and they were like, it's got to be a vampire. They're in a vampire comatose state, and want the damn
put bars
put
in the
a
backs.
stake, put a stake in their heart or something,
There's so many stories about how the stories of vampires evolved because you started off with somebody that was well, I'll skip the beginning, but then you had like the story of why they turned into bats, the story of why sunlight would kill them, the story of why like a stake in the heart was the only way to kill them.
Silver bullets.
No, that was a werewolf,
Yeah.
I think. Yeah, the silver bullet was a werewolf.
Oh, I'm talking about garlic.
Yeah,
Sorry.
so Bob Seger had nothing to worry about with wolves because they had silver bullet man. But you had like all these different things, but these were things that evolved. It wasn't just from the very beginning of the vampire stories that they automatically could turn into bats. They could turn in, I think there was another thing, they could turn into dust or something and disappear. They
didn't even turn into other people.
They slept in the coffins. They couldn't, the sunlight would kill them. Like, so all these things, all those parts evolved. It wasn't just from the beginning that they had all these things. So that's always kind of weird to me. Not weird, but
Definitely can't go into churches.
They could go into churches. Why couldn't they? But then, there's another thing where, like, if you touched them with a cross, they would burn up or whatever. It's because they were obviously demonic.
Holy water. Yeah, not to kill them.
That's another one. But you go through all the different movies and stories, and there's all different ways.
There's a lot of different things.
Yeah, but it fascinated me of how I wanted to know how all these things happen, and I was hoping that one of you guys had done some research, especially Scott, had done some research and found out and told me how these happened, like what the chronological order of things happened when they started adding these details about vampires.
Well, and I didn't really go into that, but I mean I know like the water thing is I've heard vampires can't cross running water because water is considered like the living thing because it's
pure. It's pure. Yeah. I've heard that too.
Vampires can't cross that. So I get that with the water, and then for some reason it turned into holy water.
Right.
Which I guess is the good versus evil. Christ versus the devil, because vampires are supposed to be from the devil. So
right.
There's those things, but did you know something else? I don't know. I mean, because
I want to know what.
Well, I mean,
are you going to tell me something?
I was hoping Scott would tell me something like about how it came from the vampire and then everything else.
Yeah.
Coming.
Well, they've just evolved, and I think they've evolved in our lifetime because when we were kids growing up, our vampires as kids were the old school hair slicked back, scary, looked like they're from the Victorian era kind of thing. And now every vampire movie that's out there, every vampire is a good looking 20-something-year-old, that says he's 500 years old, right?
Yeah. So, I get that.
So
and
that's something that bothers me because they never said that back in those days. They never said in the 50s when those movies were out.
I think that's the companies now making these movies. Yeah, Hollywood.
That's what I'm saying. Hollywood has changed it so much.
They're making it for a new generation.
Bram Stoker is the one that, to me, is the one that put it out. Here's what a vampire is. And I think that over the years that Hollywood has changed it so much that now it's completely different.
I think that too. But do you know what? I've never watched Bram Stoker's
you got to
Dracula.
watch it, man.
I have never watched it.
Well, I don't remember a whole lot, but what I remember of it is that I believed it. You know what I mean? Like you'd watch this character as Dracula, and you believed it. He's the only one, and it's not just because I was a kid and younger watching this and seeing this black and white movie of this character who was very stoic and like he didn't act like what you see now. I have never watched any of these vampire movies from the last 20 years and been like worried, like I hope that that kind of thing doesn't exist. When I was a kid watching that, and it wasn't because I was a kid, it was because to me that was legit. But now it's so over the top, and now it's Twilight messed things up. I think for the vampire scariness.
Well, I think it was. Well, if you think
I could be wrong saying that, but that's how I feel.
If you think Bram Stoker's Dracula was a he was like a womanizer almost.
Yeah.
Where he would go and the women would kind of swoon towards him,
Yeah. But he didn't just drink the blood, like he ate flesh too.
No, but you say you have that type of vampire, which was Dracula, and then you have like Nosferatu, who? Wasn't Nosferatu.
Yeah.
Who was a scary looking vampire. He wasn't. A lot of vampires, you see, they want to, I guess, glamorize them and make them look pretty and look good and have this,
romanticize them.
Yeah. That's what they do with them. And I mean, I don't know if that's the way vampires are or not, But I know Nosferatu was one of the first vampires, and there was no romanticizing about him because he was a scary looking thing, And
How the hell you spell that?
N-O-S.
Carol, are you still there?
Carol.
I am.
He fell asleep.
Yes.
Carol, because I noticed he wasn't talking. I got to ask Carol a question real quick. Carol, are you Team Edward or Team Jacob?
I am Team Edward.
You need to ask Chris that.
Chris.
How you spell Nosferatu?
Nosferatu.
Chris is Team Jacob because he thinks he's hotter.
He probably does. Chris, are you Team Edward or Team Jacob?
Man.
You know who Edward and Jacob is.
Yeah,
Chris
he
Hicks,
knows.
are you Team Edward or Team Jacob?
That's a toughie, man.
Go ahead, let it go.
Because I like Jacob. I think I'm Team Jacob.
Why do you like Jacob?
Manly masculinity. Masculinity. That's
He
what I
likes
like.
the masculinity.
I do.
That's why he's so infatuated with his
No,
Vlad the
Fauci.
Impaler story.
I think I found it. That's Fauci. Hold on.
So, Chris, if you
gotta
could
wear
become
your
a
mask.
vampire, would you? Chris,
I
if you could become a vampire, would you?
I want to be the Impaler. The Hickster, the Impaler.
I want to be the count from the Muppets. One.
That's funny.
That's my favorite vampire.
I don't know, man. I like God, what was the dude that did all of the Naked Gun
Tom
movies?
Cruise.
He did Leslie Nielsen.
He did a Dracula movie.
Did he?
Yeah, and it's funny as all get out. You need to watch. I think it was. I don't know what it's called anymore.
I don't remember that.
No, he did one, and it is freaking hilarious. But my favorite vampire movie of all times is Vampire in Brooklyn with Eddie Murphy. Because he had the glamour, but man, he looked scary. Towards the end of the movie, and it just had all the the comedy and it was just perfect for me. And my second favorite is the Lost Boys.
Yeah.
I like the Lost Boys.
Wasn't Corey Feldman in that?
Yep. He was.
Yeah,
He was. That's why
he
I
took
liked it.
Don Henley's spot.
Don Henley was supposed to be that. Don Henley probably. Never mind.
I'll get Trey fired up over that. Trey's like, damn his bushy head. But yeah, man, vampires has always been a.
Oh wait, I just thought of another vampire movie I
What?
completely forgot about. my friend for a couple of days, Wesley Snipes, Blade.
Oh shoot, he was a
Day
vampire.
Walker.
Where you going with that?
Daywalker.
Where you going with that with gas bladder?
Hey, are you? Did that just happen?
It just
we
Scott just walked.
we
away.
don't do that no more. We're professional now.
Anyway,
He had to stop the impaler. Went to the bathroom.
Ask him if it's one or two.
I hope it's never mind.
But I didn't even think about Wesley Snipes.
Yeah,
man.
Wesley Snipes. Yeah, Blade.
I'll be
I
damned.
forgot about that too.
He's got a couple movies
I
out
thought
with the
about it,
Blade.
but I thought Trey would bring it up.
No, I've completely forgot about it, and I feel like a really bad friend of my friend Wesley Snipes for not bringing that one up.
Yeah.
Hey, didn't
But
they?
the blades were good.
Yeah, aren't they supposed to like looking at doing some more?
I have no clue. I didn't
feel like
think. I thought Wesley Snipes was just taking it easy.
I feel like they were talking about doing another one.
I ain't heard nothing about it. But
Didn't they just have him and the Ryan Reynolds? What is?
I love Ryan Reynolds. They should do
It
a
was.
vampire thing on him.
Oh, what about Buffy the Vampire Slayer?
Buffy the
Oh yeah, she was the
Chick
hottest
flick.
vampire. Wasn't she?
She wasn't a vampire though.
No, she was the Slayer.
No, she was a slayer.
Was that Melissa Joan Hart? Is that her name?
No, that
Don't
was
get me lying.
Yeah, Melissa Joan Hart.
no Melissa Joan Hart. It was Sarah Michelle Gellar.
Oh, well, who was Melissa Joan Hart? Where does that name come from?
Frank Gallagher.
Yeah. Why am I saying Melissa Joan Hart? Now I got to look it up and find out what she did. Because
She did Sabrina the Cat or whatever.
the Teenage Witch, Sabrina the Teenage Witch,
Oh,
right?
yeah, I think that was
Yeah.
what it was.
Okay.
It was. Yeah. We got any more time left?
Nope.
We gotta go.
We are right now about 15 minutes
Yeah,
over.
let's get out
But
of
that's
here.
okay because I know there's about 15 minutes I'm cutting out of this show.
Man, what
All right,
a
hold on.
fun
No,
topic.
hold on.
Oh, what a fun topic. Oh, we had so much fun on this topic.
We really did.
Talk about Vladimir and the Impaler and Putin.
Vlad.
All right.
Vlad the Impaler. Not Vladimir.
Vladimir Putin
You know,
and the Impaler.
I can't really cut stuff while the music's playing. Just keep that in mind.
Oh, man, we had a great time tonight. Thank you for being here on Guillotines the Impaler. Oh, my God.
Yeah, no kidding.
Thank you so much. All right, here we go. Thank you so much for being here on Guillotines and Guitar Studio. We appreciate you for listening with us, bearing with us, and putting up with us. We thank you so much. We'll see you next
Hey,
time.
hold on. Before you go any further, real quick, you missed it last time. Can we thank Carol for calling in?
Carol, thank you for calling in and actually staying on the line
Hey,
this time.
thank you for having me.
Our co-host has been gone for a while, and we miss him. And the only time we get to talk to him is on the phone, so we try to get him as much as possible.
Hopefully, I'll be home soon.
We looking forward to you, brother. We love you. We miss you. All right, then. The hell with it.
Good job. You're
I
doing
miss
fantastic.
all of you.
All right, buddy.
All right, should I play the slow, smoky music?
And by the way,
Yes.
if you're listening, go ahead and subscribe on YouTube. Go ahead and hit that like button. Go ahead and hit the bells. Go ahead and hit the fangs. You know, vampire. You
Whistle
know.
at Chris.
All right.
All right, this Guillotines and Guitars. We're out.